What toxic family tradition did you break that cost you everything? My mom has always been the type of person who needed everything to look perfect. Family photos had to match the holiday theme, school projects had to be done her way so they wouldn't embarrass us. And if I ever had an opinion that didn't line up with hers, she'd find a way to twist it into something selfish or ungrateful. The worst part was how she made it sound like love. When I was 16, I had this audition for a pre-college music program. I had been practicing nonstop, but the day before the audition, she scheduled a family photo shoot without telling me. When I brought it up, she just smiled and said we could reschedule the audition, but the photo session was important because we hadn't had a nice family picture in years. She always operated with a smile and under the excuse of doing what's best. After that, I stopped playing for a long time. I ended up going into teaching like she wanted. I told myself it was a smart move, that I'd always have job security. But deep down, it felt like I gave up something big just to avoid disappointing her again. So by the time I was 26 and got the call about my sister Mia needing a kidney transplant, all of those memories were sitting right under the surface. My dad called first to tell me I was a perfect match. Then my mom called and said, "You'll do it, right? You're her sister. You'll save her." I knew it was an expectation she was holding over my head, just like always. I didn't say anything, and that pause was all it took for my mom to switch her manipulation tactic. She started talking faster, about how Mia was scared, and how this could bring the family closer again. She said people in the community would be proud of me, and when I still didn't say anything, she ended the call with, "You better not make this difficult." That line stayed with me, so much so that I drove home that weekend. The whole house was tense when I got there. Mia was quiet, but hopeful. My dad was trying to act normal, and my mom was already treating me like I had agreed to everything. She paraded me around town that day, introducing me to people as the one who was going to save Mia's life. She told family friends I was stepping up because that's what big sisters do. She even said, "We always knew Rachel had a big heart." I tried to smile, but it just felt like she was twisting my arm in front of everyone. When we got back home, Mia took me to her room and asked me if I was scared. I told her I wasn't scared of the surgery. I was scared of everything around it. I obviously wanted to be there for her, but I couldn't bear being back in the house. Then came the family meeting. My mom said she wanted us all to sit down and talk like adults, but really, it was just a chance for her to control the narrative. She talked about how the arrangement would work, how long I'd stay there, how brave Mia was. Then she turned to me and said, "Rachel, I told the hospital you're ready to move forward." I looked at my dad, hoping he'd say something, but he just kept his eyes on the table, as he usually did. I finally spoke up and said I hadn't made a final decision yet. My mom's entire face shifted. Her voice got quieter, but sharper. She said she didn't understand what I needed to think about, that there wasn't anything more important than family. And then she said, "I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like your needs were more important than anyone else's." That's when I knew she hadn't changed. I stood up and told her I needed space. I said that I wasn't going to be pressured into something this serious without being allowed to feel like a person. That night, I sat in my childhood bedroom and cried harder than I had in years. The next day, I called Dr. Clark, Mia's doctor. I asked if I could come in and talk privately. I told her everything, and by the end of it, she validated my feelings. She said I wasn't the first donor who had to weigh more than just medical risks. I told her I wasn't saying no. I just couldn't say yes while it felt like I was being pushed into it for the wrong reasons. She nodded and said, "When you're ready, and only when you're ready." The thing that broke me happened a week later. The full story is on my channel and linked below.